see if it's still around.
Motion to table? Yes, a motion to table.
Second.
Make a motion.
So I motion to table this to the next meeting.
Is it properly second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Now, Mr. Chair, 10810, do any of us have any strong feelings around that? Well, I motion to take this up.
What item?
10810?
10810?
Yes.
Motion to take it off the table, matters.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So I mean, it sounds like it's just a revealing of improvements to a park. I'm gonna make a motion to withdraw. This is 8 years old. So it's 10810, revealing Stockton Park draft improvements. I'm pretty sure that those improvements have probably already been done.
Councilor Plant, you were the other on this item, so.
Yes, when I was a very young city councilor, I put this on, and you may remember Councilor Rivera, maybe Councilor Toomey, who were with me at the time. So this is actually something more significant than just the big reveal. This is actually, the Five Corners is one of the remaining gateways in our city that is yet to have any kind of attention given to it. And so this issue has been an issue rife with, there's movement with it. Their Tiger grants were applied for monies. Lowell ended up getting that money back a few years ago now. This is part of the 114 corridor complex that goes from North Andover and Merrimack College all the way down to our city. This is also the project that Sal Lopoli promised to put some monies in to try to do it. It's been a point of some controversy because we're just not ever able to find it. It's my understanding that this is still a project that our mayor would like to see happen. I'm so glad that you took it off the table. I would recommend that we make a motion to ask the mayor what is the latest with the improvements at that intersection, because I'd like to see that happen, and I'd like to get that back on the radar screen because it is important to the members of people who visit our city who come in through that roadway.
Do you want to make that as a form of a motion?
Motion
Second
made.
respondent?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion to table 10810.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Second.
I got a motion to take item 34214 out of the table matters.
Say it again, sir?
342 on top of the third page.
So moved.
Fire station.
Yes. The fire station, the corner of Oxford on Lowell Street. The discussion maintained on this property. I would like to send the correspondence to that.
To the new chair?
First responders, the new chief, the new sheriff, perhaps the police department, the fire department, and the new sheriff.
Second.
To actually provide us with an update on this property.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion, my Councilor Plant.
So I do remember this discussion. So this is and this is in your district, Counselor?
Yes.
So, as you know, this is, I think, an ambulance-related operation that's based out of that property.
No.
It's not that anymore? It's been changed?
It's the sheriff department. They have the transitional housing, perhaps.
Yes.
No. So what they have, it's not a halfway house. They call it something else, but essentially they have inmates that are maybe a month or two away from being released. So they're there, and they have like GPS, on their ankles. So one of the issues that you're having, if when you drive by that street, you see a lot of people that just don't fit in, and you think like, you know, why are they there? It's only until I became a city council member that I found out that this was put, you know, that there are people living there that are essentially that they're inmates. And one of the things that's concerning is that you have individuals that are about to get out, right? You want to turn a new leaf, and the area itself is a pretty hot area to begin with. So if you are trying to turn a new leaf, you know, drugs, whatever it might be, and then every time you look out your window, that's what you see. You know, I think it'd be hard for you to do that.
Pouring gas into the fire.
And then also, I don't know if there was a situation maybe a week and a half ago over an individual that was severely beat up the mother of his child. And, you know, from what I'm told, he was an individual that was in that program. He asked to go, because you can call up the sheriff's office and essentially say, hey, I'd like to go to Market Basket, and you get, I don't know, an hour to go to Market Basket and get food. During that time, he committed, you know, this horrendous crime. So I think one of, you know, my concerns, one of the reasons that, you know, I definitely support the chair in this is I want to find out exactly what goes on, find out more about this program, you know, find out, you know, how these people get into the program to begin with. You know, having someone, if he committed an act of domestic violence, I'm sure that he probably, you know, committed it before. You know, like I wonder why he's there in the first place. And we're putting these type of people, you know, not at the farm, but right in a very highly dense area, and I don't think it's safe for that neighborhood. That's one of the reasons that I definitely would like to bring it up and talk about this.
So, Mr. Chairman, I can certainly support that. I guess the only thing I would add or ask, we have been placing a lot of demands on the police and fire chief to show up at every one of these meetings. In this one right here, I do think, based on what I've just heard, this is truly localized to the sheriff's department. So I'd like to give the chief fire and police a break on one of these and bring just the sheriff.
Firefighters,
bring
I
the
don't
sh-
think
and-
so.
And bring the sheriff and who has the jurisdiction over this and who controls this, and just have the sheriff or his designee come. That'd be my recommendation.
Well, the problem that we have there, it's involving the sheriff department, but it is also a lot of 911 calls and a lot of our police department responding to those calls. So there is a lot of calls that, you know, put into our police department from that place, and we would like to know, like, perhaps the statistic of phone calls from there. I understand that we've been calling the police department so many times, but I mean, I think this is a very, very, very important that we have the statistic on how we're dealing with this situation on that specific corner of Oxford and Lowell Street. So the firefighter,
Can I make one recommendation, if that, and that makes sense? Maybe if we just ask them to submit the report like we received from the police earlier tonight, that gives the information, and just, I realize that they're not gonna be able to answer questions, but if all you're looking for is the numbers and the data, would this be sufficient, something like this?
well, I prefer to see a police officer here, not necessarily the chief.
And I think that, so one of the conversations that, you know, I'll definitely have with the department is, I think those are great, but, you know, they can easily either give it to us in Excel format so we can sort of do the work, or sort of tabulate it, so that we see, instead of like 10 pages, we see, all right, 10, or maybe that was the reason that they wanted to date it. But what I would have wanted to see was in 2017, there were 15 of these calls made, 30 of these calls made, not necessarily by date.
And through you, but I would like also to see and discuss different issues that might not necessarily be on paper, like we have today. We have so many questions on that specific property from South Union Street that will never be answered by a report, perhaps because we don't know what can come up. We don't know if an answer from the sheriff department gonna transform the questions that we're gonna ask the police department, and so far, so on. It's a combination between the two organizations, and I think that's very important to have not only the police department here and the chief and the sheriff department. We also need to have the owners coming down to
Yes,
see what's going on there in terms of contract, Because there is a lot of things that we might not know of, something that is happening right in the middle of lands. And that may be a good idea to have that include, having the owner of that property coming over.
So just the sheriff and the police?
Sheriff, the police, and the owner.
I move the question, Mr.
And the
Chairman.
owner of the property. Councilors, any other question?
But also, well, the
Councilor.
person in charge of the program, right, in there,
Yeah, that's the sheriff department.
that's the sheriff department?
There's any other question on this item? Motion to table?
Are you gonna make a motion to send that letter out?
There was not a motion for that?
I believe.
There's a motion to send correspondence to the police department, to the sheriff department, and to the owner, to be present in our next housing committee meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 The ayes have it. There is any other questions on this item?
Motion to table?
Motion to table item 34214.
Second?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Councilors, there is any other items that we would like to discuss tonight?
No, solamente no vamos.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So,
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you so much, everybody. Yo también, porque ahora yo me voy para el trabajo a las 5:30, 6 de la mañana. Tengo que irme para el hospital porque voy a tener una muchachita.